Hey, Mike. It is time for Dynasty Obsession No Off Season, Episode 3. How you doing?
I am doing good. Had a great weekend. I don't know about you. Did you happen to see a game?
Nope.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat. I lost about 10 pounds watching that football game. So the agony I went through. I feel bad for 49er fans that had to, suck that one up. That was a tough game. But the Chiefs ended up taking it down. They could have gone either way. I think the 49ers played awesome. Could have gone either way. But yeah.
Oh, you were talking about the Super Bowl. What
Uh,
is that? Is that football?
yeah,
What
that's what
sport is that?
it's the football.
Ah. Oh, okay. And who it was the prospectors against the
No, it was
I
the
totally
Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, right. I heard something about it. That was at the Taylor Swift concert, right? Usher opened. Yeah. I hate the Chiefs. Well, Mike, we just had a Super Bowl. It is preseason season. We just got over the Senior Bowl. We're coming up on free agency. We're coming up on draft time. The what do you call it? The combine where everybody works out is coming up in a couple weeks. It's exciting, and we're obsessed. We're scouring everything because there's no off season. So everybody sit back, grab yourself a frosty beverage, preferably in a I hate Stanford just as much as I hate the Chiefs, but anything to keep my bubbly lemon sorbet flavor cold. Shout out Chuck Bass, Pepsi Co. You know what we're doing today? What are we doing today?
We're going over trades, man. So we've had some listeners and some people chime in our Discord, and
we
we got a
reached out to
handful
the
of trades.
community. We reached out to the community
Yeah.
and we said, hey guys, send us your trades. So hopefully everybody that did that is going to be watching this. And we're going to give our takes. So go ahead and comment, subscribe, click the bell. And, let's get the algorithm rolling. If we have a take that you disagree with, yell at your screen, but also type that yelling in the comments, because just yelling at the YouTube doesn't really do much. So we can give you feedback if you put it in the comments. So let's go over some of these trades and get out of here, because I feel like you have something to do tomorrow, and so we're kind of in a hurry. But we won't get into that. Let's just get this content out of the way.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna shoot out the trade, okay, and you're gonna kind of break it down for us, okay? What you
Okay.
think it is, and I'll give you my opinion on how you broke it down. How does that sound?
Oh, so this is me critiquing the trade and then you critiquing my critique of the trade.
No, I'll agree with you most likely because
And then in the comments, you guys critique Mike critiquing my critique of the trade.
Perfect. I think I love that. I love that idea. Okay, so I think we have 6 trades to barrel through here, and the first one. Okay, so are you listening here, Biggs?
I am all earphones.
Okay, so we've got Calvin Ridley and a 2024 second. Okay, that's going one way, and the other way is Travis Kelce and Keenan Allen. So we got a couple of veterans here against another veteran, but an interesting pick, a 2024 second. We don't have the exact pick in there, but I think in the second range there, it's very it's very vague in that range. So you could probably, unless you can really hit on that, still a good pick. What do you
Yeah.
think about this trade?
Well, let me just check my notes real quick because I think I have written down there smash, 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 smash that trade. But which side shall we smash? You are asking yourself. Um, Kelsey and Keenan, they're not done. And guess what? In the middle of the 2024 season or towards the end, you're going to be able to move them for well more than a third tier wide receiver. I say third tier. Um, you know, Calvin Ridley, I like him a lot, and he was definitely top 24. So that's a good piece. That's a good piece. And the 24 second, you're going to be getting a young wide receiver with upside. So the trade is fairly even. But I would gladly give up Ridley and a 24 second for getting Kelsey and Keenan back. Now, there might be some issues with Kelsey's age, but if you look at the last 4 weeks that he played, he hasn't missed a step. It was a team thing. And Keenan Allen, except for the injury towards the end of the season, which seems to pop up with him a little bit, like he's always a smash. So I'm looking at values and what I can get later on for the values, and I like the Kelsey and Keenan. Shout out Nickelodeon. I like the Kelsey and Keenan side of that.
Oh, for sure. I think, to me, Kelsey alone is worth that deal. If not more than that. I think Kelsey still got a couple good years left. I mean, he's like, there was rumors about him retiring.
Homer.
They've put him to rest. He's gonna try and go for the three-peat. And if you look, I think most of the season he was pretty banged up. He had the 2 weeks there, to rest up before the Super Bowl. Looked really good in the Super Bowl. And prior to that, he looked great. And Keenan Allen, he's still going to be valued. I think Keenan Allen and Ridley are pretty even. I think Keenan Allen's worth more than Ridley, and that side still has still more value to me. And then the 2024 second is like, that's a dart throw because you have to pick the right person there, and I'd much prefer the upside there. So yeah, smash, smash, smash. Well done, Jake.
I think I would disagree with you on the Keenan versus Ridley. I think I would give up Keenan for Ridley.
Would you straight up? Okay.
Just as an age thing, if that was a straight up deal. But I mean, Kelsey and Keenan for Ridley in the 2024. That's, to me, that's a no brainer. What do we got next?
Okay, so we've got Michael Pittman Jr. for the 2024 306. I'm like,
hey, that's my birthday.
Let's see.
3/6/24 is my birthday. It's an anniversary of sorts. Anyway, this one's going to be quick. I don't even think it counts because if you gave up Pittman for a mid third, you should probably just quit playing fantasy football altogether. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, Pittman was the wide receiver 13 last year, so I have no idea how someone could let that slide for a third. And whoever got Pittman is probably just laughing right now. He's going to slide in next year for sure. He'll still be probably a wide receiver 2, with upside still. I mean, he's only 26 years old, my friend. So I that one, that's a jaw dropper to me.
I can't even picture the scenario in which somebody was sitting down and thinking that was a good deal to take back that 24th. Like we're talking, what is that? 30th pick in the rookie draft. 30th. Now I know it goes deep, but 30 deep for Pittman, who's a top 15 wide receiver, easy, like in a bad year. I just like, just
Stop.
Uninstall Sleeper and just go. Maybe baseball is your sport. I don't know.
I think 33rd team is hiring. You might want to.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, well, they might be there. I don't know if you saw their quarterback rankings. They're in need of some help.
I saw them. It's almost like they flipped my Dak and like they saw mine and flipped Dak and Jordan Love. Like
Yeah.
I don't know
All
what
right.
they're doing. That wasn't
Yeah,
Larky's quarterback rankings, that's for sure.
definitely not. He's in a better spot now. Um, Trade number 3, Tucker Kraft for the 2024 305. Now we're talking a little bit more of
Hey,
like,
that's the day
okay,
before my birthday. Um, perfect follow up for the Pittman deal because it's a pick better. And instead of losing Michael Pittman, you're giving up a backup tight end. Like, seriously, what are we doing here? This is closer to the value of a mid third. Although in this case, I'd rather have the third than Tucker Kraft. I'm a huge Luke Musgrave guy. I think Tucker Kraft's only upside came from last season when Luke Musgrave was hurt, concussion protocol, trying to get back, all that stuff. Not that I don't like Tucker Kraft. I think he's good, but he's not the starting tight end in that offense. And I think Luke Musgrave, with a healthy 17 game season next year, has a big tight end season in fantasy. And what do you, the 29th pick in the rookie draft, I think that's absolutely a steal for Tucker Kraft. So maybe if you're giving up the 305 for Tucker Kraft, just uninstall Sleeper and maybe baseball's your sport. I don't know what these people are doing.
well, I
Where'd
think
you
the Tucker Kraft one is like, okay, it's weird because depending on where you're standing, I don't mind that offense moving forward, but you're right, he's not like gonna move past Musgrave.
No,
It's not gonna happen. So
I had trouble getting a third that high for David Njoku.
really, okay.
Yeah, I mean, tight end value is not great, and if
Mm-hmm,
so, to give up a backup tight end
mm-hmm.
for a
For
pick like that,
305, yeah, that's
yeah,
fair. All right, the next one here. This is more of a big deal here, and these are fun ones to kind of break down. So we've got Barkley, Josh Allen, Ridley. Okay, so those 3 for Debo Samuel, Purdy, Musgrave, and then 2 draft picks, the 107 and the 109 of this year's class. So quite a bit of, this is a tough one. How
let
do
me
you see that
settle
one
in for
going?
this one.
Yeah. So we got
This
Allen,
one,
Ridley, Barkley. Okay, so the QB1 overall. You got an aging asset in Ridley, and then Barkley, who's on his downslope of his career. Might have a 1 year left, but he's not the same guy that he used to be. Going up against Purdy, decent value. Debo Samuel, Luke Musgrave, who have already declared that you like a lot, and then 2 mids, mid to late first. So lot to look at there.
I need a bib because this is like a big rack of ribs. There's a lot of meat on them bones. All right, so I was looking at both sides of this one and trying to figure out like the scales of justice, what I wanted to do with it, and it's a pretty tough one. It's likely good for both sides, and I'll get into that in a second. But let me just isolate it first. All right, so essentially what I'm looking at is I'm looking at Allen for Purdy, and Allen I have a couple tiers above Purdy, although I do like Purdy. He's absolutely a top 10 quarterback. I have Ridley a tier over Debo, which I don't. Yeah. I mean, that's a close call. I have Musgrave as a value over Barkley at this point. Barkley's on the wrong side of the age curve. He's a free agent who might wind up. I mean, if we're looking at like Dalvin Cook and Kareem Hunt and all of these uh, exemplars of veteran running backs of late that leave their original teams, he might not necessarily have a great landing spot. It might be kind of a situation like Ezekiel Elliott, where he's sharing a backfield and
Mhm.
doesn't really get I mean, he's still Saquon. So that's hard. However, we're talking dynasty assets. And I think moving forward, Musgrave is a tick better than Barkley as an asset. And then you have a mid first and a late first. So if I had Allen, if I was on the side giving up Allen and I wasn't a playoff contender, even though I had Allen, the QB1, I can see how building around Purdy with a young tight end with upside and 2 firsts and a likely early pick, that would be enticing, especially if it means offloading Barkley. So I think I like that side of it because I think that's where this one is coming from. It's somebody that missed the playoffs last year, even though they had Allen, and they're looking to kind of like shore up that team with a top 10 quarterback. They've got Debo coming back. And I mean, the kind of season he can put together is definitely top 20. Like he showed out, but he does have injury concerns, which I mean, that kind of scares me off a little bit. And then you're getting Musgrave and those 2 first picks. I think that's a very good haul for a rebuilding team. And if you're already contending, if you're a playoff team and you're giving that stuff up and you're getting the QB1 and a top 24 wide receiver, Ridley might have a better year. And then Barkley, like one more dart throw. I think that's a great trade for both sides. So I can see, depending on your roster construction and where you are going into the season, because the person who's giving that up, and getting the Purdy, Debo, Musgrave picks package back probably has a really low pick anyway, unless they traded it away. But I can see, depending on your roster construction and where you sat in the season results last season, how each side could work out. And I think that's a really, really fantastic trade for both.
And I got I agree with that. And I got, so those 2 picks there, in a super flex league, I have a Odunze and Braylon Allen or Troy Franklin around that area. So those are, and even Bo Nix, depending. Like, I mean, there's some decent players there that are going to be floating around that end around. If you can get Odunze as well, and when you think about that, when you put that name in there, that goes a long way too to making me think of that trade through a little bit more.
Yeah, Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah, exactly.
Audric Estime. I mean, there's
guys there that, depending on where you're, like, especially if you're drafting after the draft, you're going to know where some of these guys land. And I can see, especially with the way the running back situation is stated, that once we know where the landing spots are, there'll be a lot more clarity on where these guys
Trey
are going to fall.
Benson.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if any of these guys have the talent, they just need the right landing spot, and that's just the dynamic of that position right now. And as soon as we know that, we'll be able to peg down, okay, this guy is probably the running back 1 in the class, where, ever since Henderson decided to hold back, there really isn't one guy that is up anybody as a consensus number 1. And there's so many, depending on what you like as your profiler. If you like that pass catching back that has the potential of being a 3rd down, like a 3 down back, then that's the style of guy that you're going to be ranking ahead of, like a Braylon Allen's or a Blake Corum or a Estime type runner. So
Yeah.
These are all kind of things that we're going to be seeing as the draft. And if those power runners like an Estime or a Braylon Allen landed like Buffalo or Dallas that could use a power back, like those are really nice landing spots for those guys, and they'd be up on that board. And I like that. I like those spots for those guys, and I like those 2 picks. That 107, 109 makes the hurt of that Josh Allen trade go down. So I actually prefer that side as a team that's younger, and you really want to make a push in the next couple of years.
Right. And if we're talking about values, if you're making that deal now, like we've been talking about, trade 4 picks now, because they're just going to go up in value over the next month. So think about like late March, post combine, pre-draft, how much more valuable those picks are, because those landing spots haven't settled. And then after the draft, how much are those pick's going to be worth when everybody knows who the consensus 107 is, who the consensus 109 is. So there's so much value in that side of it. Purdy entering his third year, Musgrave second year tight end, or second year big slot. Hey, sleeper, it's BS. That's the new position. All right, trade number 5. What's trade number 5?
Okay, well, this one is right up your alley, and I think it was included. This might have been actually probably one of your trades, for all I know, how it snuck onto this sheet. But
no shares, no cares.
Yeah, okay, so here it is. Dak Prescott, okay, for Mac Jones and a 2024 106. So we know the 106. This is like we're just gonna assume this is super flex. So, if you're in need of a quarterback, if you're looking to replace your quarterback that you're losing in Dak, you're probably not gonna get Drake May or Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams with that 106. So you're probably looking at a guy like maybe Brock Bowers or Odunze, depending on who people like there. So what are your thoughts on this breakdown?
I love this for the side getting Dak. Mac's a dead asset. So basically you're opening a roster space. You're getting a waiver ad who's going to be more productive for you than Mac Jones. My quarterback 4 in this year's rankings and a mid first. So essentially what I'm looking at is a mid-range first, straight up for Dak. I love that. I'd give a 106 for Dak 100 times out of 100. And if I was really desperate for a quarterback, that 106 could definitely go into some kind of package, especially coming up after the combine to get a replacement for Dak, a Jaden Daniels or a Caleb Williams. If you are inclined to believe that those guys are going to be better in the next 3 or 4 years than Dak is, package that 106 up and go get your guy. I like that trade. Give me Dak for the 106. Period.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like I'm not as bullish on Dak as you are, but I still have him like well ahead of Jaden Daniels and Drake May in my dynasty rankings. So I do have Caleb Williams ahead of him, but not by much. I think I have where do I have? I've got Dak as I got Caleb like I think 4 spots higher, just because of age wise.
That's because you crazy, Mike. You crazy.
I am crazy, I guess. Maybe I'm gonna probably have to move Dak up my board now that you've kind of helped me see things a little bit differently in that light now. So I'm not as keen on that, but I still think that Dak is the right call in that trade for sure for the 106, 100%.
Yeah.
That's not even a question. Trade number 6. So we've got Jalen Waddle and the 2024 305, the 2024 405. So not many, pretty much just some throw-in picks here for Chris Olave. So
yeah,
pretty even assets. Yeah.
This is another good one. I like both sides of it, depending on how your team looks and how you fell in the standings last season. Olave is clearly the best asset in the trade. It's not out of the question that he's going to finish in the top 12 in 2024 with a better season from Carr and the Saints offense. Like Olave could have it's his 3rd year. He could have a pretty huge season. Waddle underperformed in 2023, but he did have a top 10 finish in 2022. The 3rd will give you a wide receiver to dream on. This year, so last year Puka was going in like the 4th and 5th round of rookie drafts. I think you're going to get an asset that's obviously not as valuable as Puka, but I think the gold rush for wide receivers this year is going to happen with those late round guys in the 3rd, as opposed to how late Puka went last year. If Puka was in this draft, he'd have been the third rounder, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Just because everybody is there's so many wide receivers, everybody's trying to find the one, right? Mm-hmm. people weren't so bullish on it last year, so Puka managed to kind of slip back. I think that you're going to find somebody in that range who's going to be worth a crapshoot. And then the 405 is basically just a dart throw, like we're 41 picks in. Let me just see what happens, right? Kind of like where Puka was at last year. May or may not work out, but hey, it's it's fun. It's part of the gambler's fallacy that we enter every draft with. So I do like that package. Waddle could totally surprise and wind up back in the top 10 again. You never know, but I like him in the 15 to 20 range. I like Olave in the 7 to 15 range. So, you're getting Olave, you're giving up a couple of crapshoots and Waddle. I think you're improving your team there. And with all of that said, Keenan, Pittman, Ridley, Debo, Olave, Waddle, because I said all of these things, they're going to finish as wide receivers 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21 next season. So we did a lot of splitting of hairs and trying our best. But, with my luck, they're all going to be squished into like six picks, like in the back of the wide receiver 2 spot.
It'll be one catch difference between all 6 of them.
Right. The winner of the 5 or 6 has like one more touchdown than everybody else.
Yeah, man. Cool. That was a lot of fun. That was a little bit of a different context towards our show. I love the off season for that. It's more, outside of the box stuff than, the weekend warm up was, where we were just constantly, in our groove about starts and sits and all that kind of stuff, injury news. Now this is more structure as far as the broad spectrum of Dynasty. And I really like to see that. And if any of the viewers have any other ideas that they want to see on our show, don't hesitate to put it in our Twitter chats or our YouTube channel too, because we're open to having any sort of stuff input, because we want to make sure that you get what you want out of this show as well. And the viewers are the most important part. So give us your input.
You know what, Mike? I was just going to say that. I was just going to say, like, I know we have at least one person that's going to watch this, and we would love more interaction. So if you have a trade that you want us to go over, put it in the comments. If you have questions about who to watch for in the draft or at the combine, put that in the comments. Like, we'll respond. I promise you. And we'll be bringing you stuff all off season. We're going to come right back in a couple weeks, and we're going to have some pre-combine stuff. I think the combine starts on the 27th. So next time we record, I think we're going to be 2 days into the combine. So we'll probably have some combine results to be talking about with you, and all that stuff. The draft is so close. 2 weeks until the combine, and then free agency and the draft hit. And I mean, we're talking like 6 weeks is going to go by in a blur, or 8 weeks, whatever. And we're going to, like, 2 months is going to be gone. And then we're going to be talking rookie draft.
And then,
I love it.
And then, yeah, it's going to be awesome. And then one thing that we should plug is just, our website now has been revamped, and we get our trade calculator has been updated, and now it's only $3.99, and it includes offense, IDP, and Devi. So it's a pretty neat system, and it's got the rankings on some of these guys that all work for us here at Dynasty Pros. So I think it's a great tool. You should tune in and get it.
Dynasty Pros, as an organization, as a community, has been working really hard to aggregate all these rankings and everything that you find in the trade calculator, in the ranking sheets. A lot of guys are putting in a lot of effort, a lot of good work to bring this content to you. So go to dynastyprosfootball.com, smash, and check out a subscription. It's, not that's $4. That's less than a Starbucks, So, and you can find info there that will win you your league for less than a cup of coffee. Who doesn't like that?
No kidding. Cool, man. That was fun. We'll see you again in 2 weeks, everybody.
Yeah. I'm Biggs. He's Grindberg. You're great, and I hope you win.
Peace
Are we
out.
out?
We out.
We're out. Producer!
Peace.
That was